Cyberpunk 2077 has had, let's just say, an interesting launch. Some people are really into it and they're absolutely loving their experience, and others, it's making them go like this. With Cyberpunk today, I want to be able to talk to you guys about FOMO. Is there a fear of missing out when it comes to, specifically in this case, Cyberpunk 2077? So we're going to talk about that on this episode right now. Great day on the internet, everybody. Welcome to Assemble. I'm Matt. Thank you very much for joining us. Happy weekend, and hope you are enjoying all of the shenanigans out there on the internet when it comes to things like games and movies, all the announcements. We got Marvel announcements, we got Star Wars announcements, and we've also got Cyberpunk 2077 finally in our hands. It's here. We have it. We've been playing it. Matt's been playing it. I got it. We've been doing it. I'm several hours in. Today, what I want to be able to do is, like I said in the intro, is I want to talk about FOMO, fear of missing out. Now, we can apply this concept to just about anything that we do, but I want to be able to take it a little step further when it comes to Cyberpunk. This has got me thinking for the last couple of days since the game came out, and I've had my experience. I'm several hours into the game, and I do want to know what everyone else thinks, but is there a fear of missing out when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077? The game has been in development for several years. We had seen many delays. We finally get our hands on it, and the experience is mixed to say the least. If you're on a high-end PC, you may be experiencing some small bugs. You may be having just a glorious ray tracing experience and loving it. And this is not a discussion about whether the game is good or bad and taking one specific side in terms of a review. I really want to talk about more of just how much marketing has gone behind a game like Cyberpunk, how much has been invested into this, and its current state as a whole. CD Projekt Red has done what I would consider just a phenomenal job marketing this game over several years, and getting names like Keanu Reeves to be in the game itself and being able to experience gameplay with him. The advertisements are everywhere. I can't change a channel, go on YouTube, anything without getting hit with an ad for Cyberpunk. We've now seen it where we're getting the car actually in Forza. There is a huge amount of crossover. It's only a matter of time before it's in Fortnite. Let's be honest right now. But the experience gamers are having across the board, across the spectrum, from PC to last gen consoles to current gen consoles, it is a mix. The install base seems to be absolutely massive for this game right now. Everyone and anybody is playing this game, including yours truly. And the experience I'm having is, There are some incredible elements when it comes to this game, but I'm wondering, and I'm kind of challenging the idea of, are people so heavily invested in this game because of the hype? Because everyone and anybody is talking about it, good and bad? We see that with last gen consoles, the base PS4, your big toaster microwave oven of an Xbox, the game is almost unplayable according to just everything that we are seeing and hearing and reading on the internet right now, is that it is extremely difficult to play that game on the last gen consoles, and that the amount of patches and work that it needs to actually get itself up to speed, up to par where it needs to be frankly playable. There's a lot that needs to be done with that game on a base level. We know why CD Projekt Red would put that out on last gen consoles, but again, it feels almost a rush job to hit that finish line, to hit the December mark, to be able to get that game out on everything. And it doesn't seem like it's in a good, healthy spot. And now they have to play catch up and put in more work and more work and more work to be able to get it where it needs to go. What we're seeing though is that with gamers playing on their PS4 and PS4 Pro, yes, they want to be able to get their hands on this game. It's a new game. They've probably been die hard for years. They've been itchy to get this thing. They finally get their hands on it, and it's virtually unplayable. And this is a big concern for me. And why go through the hassle of getting this game? Why go through all of this to get a title like Cyberpunk on your PS4 when we are only hearing and seeing nothing but problem? Now, not everybody is you and me, where we look at reviews, we analyze the gameplay, we check online, we follow Twitch streams. Like, we are all really knee deep into these games because we care so much, because we are invested and we are just curious about how they are playing. But I worry that a game like this is creating that fear of missing out for a global audience, that there is so much hype and discussion and conversation around it that people are just trying to grab onto it because it's the hot thing. It's the latest phone, it's the latest gadget, the latest toy. And it's coming right into the holiday season as well, where people are wanting to play a game. And again, there is a hardcore dedicated audience for this game, and people are enjoying it and having amazing experiences, and the branching story arcs that are involved in this, there's a ton there. There's a ton to love about this game. But once players are getting their hands on it, be it on a last gen console or, for example, myself, I'm playing on my Series X, the bugs and the issues that I'm seeing are really hindering the overall experience of just a game, and any game, whether it be Cyberpunk or anything else. You are still seeing reviews come out that are getting high scores of 8s and 9s and saying that it's incredible and that it's game changing, but we're also seeing day after day after day. My question to you guys is, do you think that gamers, do you think that audiences in general, be it the hardcore people that are working for the gaming websites that are reviewing these games, or your casual gamers, do you think that they are putting everything behind this, giving it this high praise because it's almost like we need to? Do you think that there is an argument for it? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm wondering, do you think that there's an argument for people out there, fans out there, needing to give this game kind of a lift and justify it, and justify the negativity that's coming behind it, because we've waited for so long to be able to get this? Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. There's amazing gameplay mechanics in there, but I gotta be honest, when I turned on the game for the first time, I downloaded and I hit play on my Series X, it actually crashed. So I couldn't even load the game for the first time. So I had to restart my whole machine and then play the game. And that immediately takes you out of it. I spent $90 on a game, and people have paid full price. They get the deluxe editions and so on. People put a lot of money into this, and I couldn't even turn it on. But again, even for me, probably in the comments, you guys are like, well, Matt, you did what you're arguing. Sounds like you had a fear of missing out on this game and you want to try it. Absolutely. I am part of the problem. I wanted to see what this game was all about. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that are like me, that wanted to be able to say, all right, I'll give it a shot. I'm not a huge RPG guy, and I don't have any affinity for the Cyberpunk world, the Cyberpunk universe. But it looked cool. It's got Keanu Reeves in it. The gameplay looks neat. It looks like it's just this open world that I can kind of do everything, because that's how they're marketing it. But I turned it on and I couldn't even play it for the first time. And then even recently, I was driving around in some of the streets. I wasn't involved in anything. I was simply just driving, and the game completely crashed. So there are bugs. There are game-breaking bugs. And if you're on an older gen console, it's virtually unplayable. And gamers might even just be turning it off, going, okay, you know what? I'm going to wait until this title is actually ready for me, or that CD Projekt Red gets everything up and going to get it to a point where it is extremely playable. But when we're seeing review scores that are getting in the 9, saying that, it is a game-changing experience, it's amazing, it's incredible, there are bugs, but it's almost kind of, for some of us, it's almost trying to just say, push it aside because we want to be able to focus on this. That's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong to be able to say, hey, we are identifying that there are problems with this game. And if you are a reviewer, I'm not taking anything away from it. I think it's good to have the reviews, but I'm more in the camp of give the game its early on impressions versus trying to give it a score and review it, because a game like this is so large that it needs more time. And CD Projekt Red clearly needs more time to be able to iron out a lot of the fixes and the bugs with it. So what do we do? As an audience and as gamers, should we hold back a little bit more? Should we be more critical and try to take a step back from jumping in full tilt into these games, and be more mindful and aware that if a game like this, we are seeing issues before it even drops on consoles, should we hold back a little bit? Or does it not matter to you and you're just like, screw it, I want to be able to have the experience, I'm going to play it anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to highlight that there is a little bit of FOMO when it comes to this game, and it's actually quite an interesting scenario where I think that the marketing and the push behind this entire title has been outstanding, and I've never seen so much built behind it to get this thing out. that I think it's almost trying to trump the very, very obvious issues that the game is having, the bugs and the experiences people are having where they're going, yeah, it's kind of broken. I am not hearing, at least in my little bubble, guys, I'm not hearing people, talk about how incredible the game is to that degree of like, hey, did you experience this in the story? What I'm hearing more and more as each day is going by is, here's this bug I encountered, here's this crash I got, here's this issue that I've seen. And people are more focused on that. So I do worry that also that the polish and the shine of this game has the potential to drop off very quickly and people will move on. And I'm concerned that, like, even for guys like me, I want to be able to play it and I want to enjoy it just for the game itself. That CD Projekt Red has put years into this title. They want it to be the best experience. No one has the intentions of making the bad game. Nobody wants to put out a bad product. They're trying to put out the best thing they possibly can within the time frame parameters that they can and get this thing out to the public. And they want to be able to have people experience it. And that's all great. But I think that as the audience and as the gamer and the consumer, we do need to be mindful a little bit of this is a ton of hype. This game has had so much built around it and pushed, and it doesn't seem like it's quite ready. Maybe we ought to hold off as the gamers to see what's going to actually happen with this. We've also seen that IGN posted an article just the other day talking about how CD Projekt Red's stock has dropped 29% since the game came out. This could be contributed to a large part because of just all of the bugs and glitches and the narrative and the discussion that's happening online about how the game is not performing very well, like to the standard within the gameplay itself, and that there are issues. And this is not good news when it comes to CD Projekt Red trying to get this giant open world game, their project, their lifetime project, out to the public. So again, I worry, do you guys worry at all that aside from a dedicated hardcore audience for Cyberpunk, do you think that gamers are going to drop off of Cyberpunk? Do you think that it is going to turn into a game that people might just kind of pick up and grab here and there? Or do you think that, you know what, it doesn't matter, I'm going to jump in full tilt into this game, I love the world and I want to be able to experience more, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, CD Projekt Red, that more is to come and it's going to get better and better. But at the end of this, guys, I just really want to say that we should probably be mindful. There's always going to be a fear of missing out when it comes to anything, be it a new phone, the new TV, the new game, the new movie. It doesn't mean that we always need to jump in. If you want to, amazing, because you want to be able to have that experience and it's your right to do it and you should enjoy it. But for people that are on the fence about it, that did pick it up and they feel like, I'm just playing this because everyone else seems to be just all in on this game and it is the biggest thing right now, but I'm really not having a good time because I'm on my PS4 Pro, I'm on my PS5 or my Series X, and I'm still having a lot of problems and I'm not really getting invested in this. Maybe take a step back and realize that that's okay, and that we don't always need to jump into these titles just because they're the biggest and hottest thing right now. Play the games you enjoy to play. Play what you want to play and enjoy what you want to enjoy. But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up today's episode. What do you guys think? Is there a fear of missing out when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077 or any of these really, really large games that we have experienced or that are coming down the pipe? Do you feel like it is something that we need to be more aware of as consumers and as gamers, that we don't necessarily need to jump into these giant titles right away on day one, and that we need to be mindful of the reviews that come out as well, and maybe just look at it as more of impressions and early impressions? I think the game is incredible. I think it does a lot of really wonderful things, and I think the community that supports it is fantastic, and they love this game, and people want, in general, they want the game to do well. So I hope that it does well. I just hope that the gamers are also being aware that they don't necessarily need to jump in on day one. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, thank you for assembling with us. See ya.